Gentlemen, welcome to episode 34 of Speak on It,
34.
the Shaquille O'Neal episode. That's the only athlete we need to highlight. Oh, no,
Yeah,
no, no,
the
no.
Big D's.
Didn't Kareem wear? No, Kareem wore 33.
I thought he was 33.
Yeah, I think Kareem wore 33. I think Shaq is I know they're do this every week. 1 week I will come prepared. Charles Barkley,
Hakeem
Ray Allen,
Olajuwon,
Hakeem Olajuwon. That's who I was thinking about.
Walter Payton.
Ooh, sweetness. My bad. My bad. From baseball fans, Roy Halladay wore 34. So, but this is still the Shaq episode. Like Shaq is still.
It's the Big Diesel. It's the Big Diesel. Come on. Yo, are we ready to say where would you put Shaq on all-time centers?
All-time centers? At least top 3, right? For me, the best center ever is Kareem because he's the leading scorer and still in NBA history with no three-pointer. Like he did all that on sky hooks. That's impressive. You're the best center ever.
You're right. Did he really have a mid-range game?
No, Kareem is the best basketball player ever. He is the real GOAT.
Why does no one ever be like, how can Jordan be the GOAT when Kareem is clearly the greatest of all time? Like clearly the greatest.
Kareem is the best basketball player to ever walk this planet, and you
can't
tell me otherwise.
Think about it, the goal of basketball is to score the basketball, right? And he's number one last time I checked in terms of points.
Still,
wouldn't that make him the greatest of all time?
That makes him the greatest for me. On a planet where Ray Allen and Steph Curry and Klay Thompson exist and three-pointers are being shot at a record pace, Kareem is still top dog.
Yeah. Here's that dude. How you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm living the dream. How you doing?
I'm doing good, but I wanted to get your energy because the Eagles stole one, so I know you're happy right now because y'all really not y'all not out of the division race yet. Dallas hasn't ran away with it yet.
The Eagles took care of business and did what they were supposed to do. But we can talk about that later because we need to talk about your field goal kicker because you almost lost.
Look, we're gonna talk about it later. But I was if we would have lost that game, the words that I would have had for Mason Crosby, I think that would have been the first time that I would have been like, nah, Mason gotta go. Even the last time he pulled some shit like this, I was like, that's still my kicker.
No. I don't know how you can.
The only thing that made that more palatable, more acceptable, was the fact that the Bengals kicker didn't want to win the damn game either. Nobody wanted to win the game.
Nobody wanted to
win. We don't get into it though.
Are you sure?
Yeah. Speaking on episode 34, this week we talking a little UGA football. We recapping Fury versus Wilder, talking a little Bills Mafia, a little Spencer Rattler, some damn Jon Gruden.
Yes, sir. Oh, we're gonna let that Jon Gruden slander fly, baby. I got the chopper loaded. We're gonna let this Jon Gruden slander fly, baby.
And we're gonna talk a little Spencer Rattler. But Danny, let the people know what the podcast is brought to you by.
So the show is brought to you by goingfor2.com. Head over to goingfor2.com for all your fantasy needs. I really need to start reading some more at Going for Two. I read, but I don't read like I need to because right now I am getting smoked in our league. I'm getting my ass throttled.
Yo, I am glad that you mentioned that. Because I was looking, people, if you don't know by now, Danny and I are in my fantasy league that I am the commissioner of, the All Money In Fantasy Football League. We are in the same division. I believe it's the AFC. We're in the AFC, right? We're in the AFC or the NFC? It don't matter. We're in the same division.
We're the NFC.
Yeah, we're in the NFC. Danny's team on paper is good. Danny's team on Sunday is not good. It's spooky. I was looking at your point totals and I was like, yo, like.
So this week, I have a defense for this week. Okay. This week, I forgot the Seahawks played Thursday night. And I did not get a chance to get Chris Carson out of the line, not get a chance to get Dalvin Cook out of the lineup once it was announced that he was not playing. So my two running backs were not playing this week. That's on me. That's why the point totals were so low.
Now, who should be more mad this week? You or me? Because last night, ooh, buddy, Mark Andrews, dog. When I see you in these streets, I people. Me, obviously, being a commissioner, I like the league to chat. So in our fantasy football league chat Sunday night, I was talking big shit. You know why? Because I was up like damn near 30 points. Dude only had Mark Andrews up to play. I hung 162 of them things on his head because I have top 3-4 rosters in the league. Mark Andrews goes and has a career day. Career day at my expense. People, I lose 180 to 162. Unbelievable. Fucking believable.
You should have saw it coming when Carson Wentz was on the other side.
What does Carson Wentz have to do with the Ravens tight end?
You should have Carson's energy is infectious, man.
The thing is, I'm really not too worried about my team in that league because I was looking at the numbers now. Yo, I'm the second highest scoring team in the league, and the dude who has the highest scoring team is only ahead by 6 points. I consistently just put up numbers, but what do you do?
Petrified. I should have taken that deal for AJ Brown for Joe Mixon, and I still might. I'm gonna try to present that.
No, don't take that.
AJ Brown is so disappointing.
AJ Brown's gonna be fine. It was his first game back from a hamstring, so they were working it. And it was the Derrick Henry show. I know because I got Derrick Henry.
I got Derrick Henry in one league too, but dog, AJ Brown.
Give it some time. He's their number one wide receiver, and Julio's questionable. Give it some time. But all right, let's get into it. We can talk about a little fantasy. Let's get into it. So
real quick.
Go ahead.
Shaq better than Kobe. We got this in the comments.
Okay. It said y'all ain't ready for this comment. Shaq better than Kobe on the all-time list.
I don't know if I'm ready to have that conversation.
I'm not ready to have that conversation. So I may be asleep. Kobe can make a three. Shaq could not. I think that's.
Oh, but Shaq was so dominant.
Yeah, Shaq was a dominant force. So like, I still argument though, because you think about it, Shaq in his prime, it was damn near disrespectful.
Shaq beat the hell out of Mutombo for 5 games. He beat the hell out. He beat the hell out of Eric Dampier against the Mavericks.
You tell me he sent him into retirement.
No, he beat the hell out of Mutombo. I think Mutombo won Defensive Player of the Year that year, right? Was that the year he won it?
It was like what year is Shaq? That was like was that the year he won MVP too?
Shaq?
No, Mutombo.
No, he won. No, that's the year he won Defensive Player of the Year, I believe. Was the year they went to the finals with the Sixers. He won MVP?
Who?
Mutombo won MVP?
Oh, you're talking about 01 when you're talking about 01 when Shaq won the MVP.
Yeah, no, I'm saying in 01, Dikembe Mutombo won Defensive Player of the Year only for Shaq to kick his ass in the finals like he was a child.
Hey, man, you know what's funny? People just remember that AI carried this bunch of scragglers into the finals. Mutombo was on that team. It was not granted. It was a later version of him. It wasn't the Houston one.
Hey, but he still won Defensive Player of the Year. And for the record, Allen Iverson is my GOAT.
He's your greatest of all time.
He is the greatest of all time.
I'm from Virginia. Honestly, I don't think. I just said Mutombo played for Houston. I don't think he did. That I'm thinking. I might be mistaking him for Olajuwon.
Yeah, he played for the Nuggets, the Hawks, the Sixers, the Nets. He played for the Knicks. He played for the Rockets.
Oh, so he did play for the Rockets. Mutombo.
Yeah, he played for the Rockets. That was the last team he played for.
Fuck out of here. I know my basketball. I'm not wrong.
He played for the Rockets. That was his last stop.
I'm not wrong.
You're not wrong. You know what you're talking about? What are we talking about? What are we hitting on?
All right, let's start off with a little college football. So over the weekend, it is now the University of Georgia is now the #1 team in the country after a stunning loss by Alabama at the hands of Texas A&M. The University of Iowa is now at #2 with the home win versus Penn State. Cincinnati sitting at #3. So, Danny Ocean, my question to you is, do you think all three of these teams plus another team makes it into the college football playoff? Or do you think we are just bound to end up with Bama versus Ohio State in the championship game at the end of the day?
I don't think we're going to see Ohio State in the college football playoff this year. I think Iowa, that like you got Michigan State is undefeated, Iowa's undefeated. There's Ohio State. Like there are so many good teams in the Big Ten.
Michigan?
Michigan, yeah, thank you. Michigan, I think Nebraska's okay, right? Nebraska's, but yeah, you have 4 teams in the Big Ten that can really make some noise. It took John Harbaugh 12 years, but he finally made it. Cincinnati, who's in their way? But the thing about Cincinnati is the margin of error is so thin. Like they can't win a game 17-14. Like they need to win every week 40-12. Like it needs to be complete and utter dominance. And I think that's just too, like that margin of error is too thin to keep this up. UGA is the best team in the country. I think they're going to stay at number 1. I think this might be the year Kirby Smart has Nick Saban's number. But as soon as I say that, Nick Saban going to go into to Georgia in the SEC championship game and throttle them. And then who's the 4th team right now? Bama?
No, not Bama. Oh my gosh.
So Bama dropped out of the top 5. They didn't even get that.
Nah, Bama is number 5.
What?
Number 4 is Oklahoma.
Oh.
So in my opinion, I couldn't disagree more.
Okay.
If I'm being honest with you. Your point on, I'm gonna start with Iowa, right? So your point that Iowa and Michigan State, Michigan, all feel like they might get in before Ohio State. Well, I believe Michigan, Michigan State, and Ohio State are all on the same side of the Big Ten.
Yes.
So I think they're going to knock each other out. And I'm going to be honest with you. My gut tells me Ohio State beats both of them, right?
Okay.
Which means they would get to the Big Ten championship and play Iowa, where, in my opinion, come on now. It's the same thing that happens whenever whenever Wisconsin comes in the Big Ten championship game undefeated and plays Ohio State. They're going to get smoked. Like, they're just going to out-athlete you. Like, they're just going to straight up out-athlete you. I don't care what y'all eat on them cornfields out there in Iowa. No disrespect to my Iowans out here. When it comes to the Ohio State, they come in your house and they smoke it.
Yes.
So I believe Ohio State, they're going to go to the championship game likely with 1 loss, beat down on Iowa. If Iowa remains at number 2, that's going to be more than enough in terms of a resume for Ohio State, where it's going to be too hard to deny them out. So let's go to the SEC, right? I'm with you. I think Georgia's going to be number 1 for the rest of the season, right? I think unless they got Bama on the schedule, which I don't believe, their next hardest game probably is going to be the Florida game, whenever that might be. And I still think they'll throttle Florida. They're going to get to the SEC championship game. And I think me and you both can attest that I think we both think Bama's going to be there. And there's one thing I've learned about a Nick Saban team that loses in the regular season. They always come back upset.
Yep.
Maybe they got a few Dodge Chargers taken away from them on campus. Maybe something along them lines. They always come back ready to play, and they get they're just a smidge more angry. Then if they know that in order to get into the college football playoff, they got to beat Georgia, my money is that Bama's going to smoke Georgia in the SEC championship game. My mind goes is like, yo, all right, Nick Saban knows how to beat Kirby Smart. If you think about it, that Georgia offense isn't really all that. They just defensively, you just can't score on them. And then eventually, they play the field position battle, and then they get in a position to where they're scoring points. Bama's them. Bama's Bama can throw up some points, and I feel like their defense is going to bend but not break. And I think they're going to get to an SEC championship. I think they're going to beat Bama. I think they're going to beat Georgia. So, and then when I'm thinking about Oklahoma, come on now. I think me and you both know Oklahoma can't beat anybody with no defense. So it don't even matter who they get. They're not beating nobody with no defense. Cincinnati, I think they're going to run the table. I think they're going to be like a 3 seed. If put it like I think Cincinnati's going to make it. I think they're going to break through and be the first group of 5 team that makes the playoff. But I think that's going to be their accomplishment that they make.
Oh yeah, I don't think they can contend for a national championship
because like I think when you play these other teams, like I think they either get matched up with Georgia or they get matched up with Bama that first round. That's a tough pull, no matter where you get it. Now I got Georgia and Bama both making the playoffs, just being on both opposite ends of the tournament, like the bracket. And I think it's still going to work out to where it's going to be Bama and Ohio State in the end. You know what I'm saying?
So I do have. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
So I looked up UGA's schedule, and we forgot one team, and I'm sorry, but they play Kentucky this weekend. I mean, Kentucky's undefeated, and then next week they have Florida.
They play them where?
So it's Kentucky at Georgia, and then Georgia at Florida, and that is pretty much.
They play in Jacksonville. That's a neutral site game.
Okay, so yeah, and that's pretty much it. After that, it's Missouri, Tennessee, Charleston Southern, Georgia Tech. So these next 2 weekends, we're really gonna find out who UGA is.
Now I'm gonna tell you, it's gonna be this weekend. Well, no, I'm not even that, because Kentucky having to go to Georgia is a problem on their end. Now, if the game was in Lexington, I'd be like, I actually like Kentucky on this one.
Mm-hmm.
I think, oh boy, them jokers from Kentucky about to have a long day. I'm gonna tell you like this,
because Kentucky can ball.
They can, but UGA's defense is legit.
That's true. Who would
so unless they, it's like I would want them to play like the field position game, or the ball control game, where they just go on these long drives and just wear a defense down, run the ball, wear the defense down, then try to go over the top. But it's like, nah, their front four can shut you down just by themselves. I think it's number 99 from Georgia, the defensive end. He's a beast.
Did you watch the game this past weekend?
Who did they play? They played
Auburn.
Auburn. Whoo. Bam. I was like, Auburn might be lucky to cross midfield. They might be lucky to cross midfield. And
then let's not forget what they did to Arkansas the week before. I watched that Arkansas game. I said, Jesus, man.
And Arkansas team won't. The very next week, Arkansas was in a straight shootout. So that defense is legit.
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. Jerry Jones dropping some hard ERs after watching that Arkansas game against UGA.
Nah, not what his Cowboys doing. What they doing. He had to take some wins with some losses.
That's true.
He had to take some wins with some losses. Damn. So let me ask you this, right?
Yep.
So right now we got the Power 5 and we got Cincinnati, right? Those are likely the conferences, / teams that are going to make it. Mm-hmm. Which conference do you think gets left out?
ACC. The ACC. ACC has no chance. Like when
I think it have to be 2 conferences that have to get left out, because if you think about it,
Pac-12 and ACC.
You think so?
When the Pac-12, Oregon lost. That was your only shot was Oregon. Oregon lost last week.
Mm-hmm. So your playoff is going to have 2 SEC schools, the winner of the Big Ten in Cincinnati.
Yep. Yeah, because I don't trust the Big 12 either. Who's your Oklahoma? You trust Oklahoma?
Oh, no.
I don't trust Oklahoma.
So that's 3 Power 5 conferences.
That's 3 power. Yeah, I think you're going to get.
No, honestly, I think the more I think about it, I don't think 2 teams from the SEC is going to make it, because if they put a group of 5 team in, there's going to be some politics involved. They're going to be like, we cannot let 2 SEC schools get in and 3 conference champions not get in.
My question to you would be, what team would be more deserving? Like, so Oregon wins the Pac-12. You want to put them in over Cincinnati? Do people want to see that? Well, I guess that's what you're saying.
I'm gonna throw one out there that's gonna fuck the game up. An undefeated Wake Forest team.
No. I thought the same thing. I was thinking about Wake Forest.
An undefeated, if an undefeated Power 5 school, fam, you have if they don't lose a game and beat everybody, you have an argument. You have an argument.
Let's look at the Wake Forest schedule, because now
excuse me. I don't think they played Clemson yet.
No, they play Clemson in November. So they got Army this weekend, Duke, UNC, NC State, Clemson, Boston College. I think if you keep Wake Forest out, Yeah, I was gonna say it's going to be on strength of schedule, but what does Cincinnati have to stand on? Yeah, I mean, but Wake Forest
They
schedule
got
is
that
not that
Notre Dame
impressive.
game, Cincinnati. That's their biggest claim to fame. That Notre
Yeah,
Dame
they
game.
got Notre Dame. Like if Wake Forest runs the table, their signature win as of tonight is NC State, who's ranked 22. Cincinnati beat Notre Dame. Notre Dame was top 5, right? Like Notre Dame was, like
But I'm saying,
Cincinnati.
okay, I think Cincinnati has if they run the table, they have an argument. My
Yes,
argument is that, let's say Bama beats Georgia, right? That
right.
means I would take a one-loss Alabama team that's an SEC
Absolutely.
champion, right?
Right.
I think if that happens though, it's hard for you to justify then if we include a one-loss Alabama SEC champion and
Yep.
a undefeated Cincinnati team, plus
Yep.
the winner of the Big Ten.
Yep. Depending on who that is, because you could have a 2-loss Big Ten champion.
It would only be Ohio State.
No, like Ohio State could lose. Yeah, that's true. I see what you're saying. I got you.
The only 2-loss team that could make an argument would be Ohio State, because at the time they lost to Oregon, which is a really good team. And then if they were to lose another
Is
game,
Oregon that good? Because they've kind of fallen off the rails.
nah, Oregon's good. Oregon's good. I think the Big Ten, it's in the hands of Michigan, Michigan State, Iowa, Ohio State. But Ohio State has to beat all of them to get in.
Yep.
These other teams, Iowa, they go undefeated, they're in. Michigan and Michigan State, if they lose to each other and then one of them goes on to win the Big Ten, I think you have an argument.
Okay.
Right? So my thing is, if that happens, if you have one of those 4 teams represent the Big Ten, one lost Alabama team, undefeated Cincinnati team, you don't really have an argument. I in my opinion, you don't have an argument to leave out a Pac-12 champion, a Big 12 champion, or an ACC champion. Especially if the ACC champion is undefeated, if the fucking Big 12 champion is undefeated, and then a one-loss Oregon team. Like, it's because their argument over Georgia would be they won their conference with one loss.
All right, so I ask you this. Everyone has one loss on the table. You have Oregon, your Pac-12 champion. You have Oklahoma, your Big 12 champion. You have a one-loss Wake Forest team. You have a one-loss UGA team. Out of those 4, who do you give the invite to?
And 3 of those 4 won their conference. 1 did not.
Right. UGA did not win. The other 3 won their conference, but they have one loss. But Georgia's UGA's one loss would be in the SEC championship game to Alabama. I'm taking UGA. I don't give a damn about the Pac. I don't give a damn about Oregon.
I'm probably taking the Pac-12 champion, to be honest.
You're taking Oregon.
Because Oregon, let's just say, in my mind, Ohio State's going to win the Big Ten. Okay. So a one-loss Oregon team whose only loss was to, who was it that they lost to? Stanford. They lost to Stanford, I believe. Their one loss was to Stanford, and they won their conference, and they beat Ohio State, who is in the playoff, and won their conference.
Yeah, and they beat Ohio State pretty soundly. They won by 3-13. Okay. I'm listening. So
it's like it's going to be hard, the more I think about it, to put 2 SEC schools in, especially if you have like one-loss conference champions. It's just going to be hard. Just going to be hard. But let's move on a little bit. Stick in the realm of football. Let's move a little bit into the National Football League. So the Buffalo Bills went into Chiefs Kingdom on Sunday night and handed the Chiefs a nasty L in prime time. And now we've seen both Lamar Jackson and Josh Allen beat the I can't beat Patrick Mahomes allegations. Danny, is this the beginning of a new power shift in the ACC? Or do you think Andy Reid and the Chiefs get it together and reclaim their throne atop the AFC when it's all said and done?
So, for the record, the Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles are both 2-3. Let the record show that the Chiefs and the Eagles are both 2-3. I just thought one of my best friends is a Chiefs fan, He always loved talking his shit about the Chiefs, and I had to text him today, like, "Hey, bruh." No, it was yesterday, Sunday night. And I was like, "Welcome to the 2-3 club. We living over here. We popping."
Half of the Chiefs' victories came from the Eagles,
Yes,
and the other half came from the Browns.
that's it. But to answer your question,
Oh man.
yes and no. I think temporarily, yes, there is a shift happening in the AFC this year because the Chiefs defense is so putrid that if Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson met them in the playoffs, it is going to be at their spot. Like if the Chiefs make the playoffs this year, it's going to be a wild card. Remember, only one team gets a bye. If the Chiefs make the playoffs, a good chance they're going to have to go on the road for the first time. Patrick Mahomes has never played a playoff game outside of Arrowhead. So if you're telling me it's January, it's mid-January, and Kansas City got to go play in Buffalo, and I know both are cold weather cities. You can't tell
Buffalo
me.
or Baltimore.
Or Baltimore, right? Buffalo or Baltimore. I'm putting my money on the home team. Like that's going to be the edge. But it's only temporary because I think like Patrick Mahomes is so good that he doesn't need a top 10 defense. He just needs a top 17 defense. And right now the Chiefs are the worst defense in the NFL.
Okay.
And I think the Chiefs fixed that this year. So this year, yes, there is a temporary power shift between the Chiefs, the Bills, and the Ravens, but I do not think it's going to extend any further than this year.
Really? Okay. So I'm kind of in agreement with you. I think this year we're seeing a little bit of a power shift. I think when I look at the landscape of the AFC, right, you got the Bills at 4-1, you got the Chargers at 4-1, the Ravens at 4-1, and the Titans at 3-2. Talking about division leaders, right?
Yep.
So all of them are going to get, all of them are, just if the standings were where they were, all of them would be into the playoffs. Which I think all four of those teams are going to make the playoffs anyway. Then you start thinking about like some of the other wild card, some of the other wild card spots. I think the Chiefs are likely going to get a wild card spot. I think we both can agree that they're likely going to be a wild card spot. Then you start looking at teams like the Bengals, the Browns, the Broncos, the Raiders.
Well, I think the Broncos are frauds.
They could be, but who knows? The Raiders. You never know. The Patriots might be able to turn around. Steelers might be trending in the right direction. I don't think anyone outside the Titans comes out of that division with a win. I think it's possible. I think it's possible that we could see, to your point, the Chiefs having to go on the road. I think if that happens, though, I think they lock in a little bit differently. It's like, okay, let's just say, obviously, I think at this point it's going to be hard for them to. It's going to be hard for them to make up some ground, especially on the Chargers right now, just to win their division. So I think it's going to be hard for them to make up ground. And then I'm thinking about, where would these guys likely have to travel? You could end up traveling someplace to like a Tennessee. You could end up finding yourself maybe traveling to a Vegas if they make it in, or Chargers if they're able to make it in. I think the Bills are likely going to be the number one seed in the AFC the way they're looking. So I think they're going to lock in a little bit differently. I still like the Chiefs to represent the AFC, or at least make it to the AFC Championship game.
Okay.
And I think if they get to the AFC Championship game, like just making it to the AFC Championship game, I think they're going to be able to game plan around being able to do what they need to do defensively and offensively to score enough points to get them to the hump. So I think they're going to reclaim their throne on top of the AFC, but I think it's going to be ugly. I think to your point, they really got to figure out their defense. It's almost like team, like they can't stop the run and they really can't stop the pass.
Nope.
So teams are just having their way, straight up having their way. And I don't think it also helps when you have a quarterback who's been known to make a lot of incredible flashy throws, maybe getting a little too flashy. I think they're also seeing a lot of double safety, too high safeties, which is new for them, right? Like that's what happened to the Packers week 1. We came out and the Saints just played nothing but too high safeties, and you're just kind of like, yo, what the fuck? What? I don't see this every day. And I think it's taking them a little time to get used to it. I think it's it's neutralizing Tyreek Hill, right? Because you're essentially saying we're not letting you get behind us. We're forcing you to run the ball. And the Chiefs don't want to run the ball. They want to keep passing the ball because they're pass happy. I think until they really establish a legitimate and consistent running game, they're going to be in trouble. So hopefully, they figure out their running attack, which maybe allows them to play a little bit more complementary football for the defense. The defense is on the field a lot. So, hopefully they'll get it together. But
shout out to us because we both predicted that the Chargers would be good this year. We had them sneaking into the playoff. But right now, they're storming in.
They knocking some doors down.
They knocking doors. Shout out Justin Herbert.
Shout out to Justin Herbert. Shout out to Herbert because he's legit and he's carrying one of my fantasy teams. He's generational. He is generational.
Oh, let's not get too crazy. It's only been a year and a half.
What? Come on.
It's only been
they was telling me after Mahomes' first year starting that he better than Aaron Rodgers. I'm not going to let y'all forget this. Y'all told me after year 1.5 that Mahomes is better than Rodgers. And all I'm saying is,
they have a case. Oh, okay. Where?
What's the case? Mahomes, welcome to the world of great offenses and bad defenses for your team. Because I got a brother who's been living with that for about
10 years,
15-something years.
That's fair.
Welcome to it, buddy. It ain't so fun. All you Chiefs fans out there wondering how we got so much offense but not enough defense, welcome to the last 12, 13 years of being a Packers fan, baby. You got every week you just going out there wishing and praying with $1 in a dream, hoping your defense comes and plays like an NFL defense. Welcome to the club, motherfuckers. Welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. You here. You out there knowing anytime your defense is on the field, it can be a 60-yard bomb right over your head that you got to live with. Now you got to wait till y'all lose an overtime game and your QB never touches the ball. Wait till y'all lose a game like that. Then holla at me about Aaron Rodgers in his last 12, 13 years. Y'all see, oh, but Brady better. Brady rings, Brady. Yeah, whatever. Football team sport. I've been trying to tell y'all, winning is not a quarterback stat. I've been trying to tell y'all. Stop playing with Aaron Rodgers, dog. Stop playing. Y'all got me heated. Y'all got me pissed off. Stop playing with Aaron Rodgers, dog. Stop playing with my man. I'm trying to tell y'all. Moving along a little bit, because y'all about to get me going a little bit. All right. So off of football a little bit. Let's talk a little boxing. Boxing. So Saturday night, Tyson Fury. I'm sorry. Okay, I got it.
Okay, it's okay.
I gotta get this up. Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder met for the third and final time last Saturday night in their trilogy. For the first 5 or 6 rounds, we thought this was going to be one of them back and forth fights. After round 6, fight started looking like a lot of the second fight. Maybe a little bit of the first fight too, depending on who you might ask. And at the end of the day, well, Tyson Fury won by a nasty knockout. Nasty. So, Danny, my question to you is, what are your thoughts on this fight? And how do you think the sport of boxing can continue to put out these big-time fights like this, especially with the rise of mixed martial arts and what they're able to do in terms of promoting their fighters and fights?
Yeah, so I think we both know, like, I'm not a big boxing guy. Like, I saw Holyfield get his ear bitten off when I was a kid, and I was like, man, this is not for me. This is not for your boy. But
yo, you saw Iron Mike in his heyday and was like, nah, I can't watch this nigga right here.
Yeah, I was a kid, dog. I remember vividly that moment. I was like, yo, he bit that man there off. I can't watch this. This above my age grade. So I got to go to bed, Dad.
Yo, as much WWE as you watching, you drawing the line and ear being bit off.
Man bit his ear off and spit it out. That's enough for me.
Come on, man. Vince could have scripted that. That's some shit straight out of Vince's playbook.
Hey, man, that did something to me. But about how boxing can build, I think for me, right, if something that would get me interested in boxing is Tyson Fury, stuff like heavyweights, like true heavyweights draw money, and then boxing really has to get away from this celebrity boxing stuff where celebrities act like they're real fighters. Like this Jake Paul stuff, it's just a money grab, and that's not going to get you the viewership long term that you're looking for, right? Like seeing Jake Paul fight Floyd Mayweather is going to be cool for a night, but for the history and for the health of boxing long term, like that needs to stop or needs to be put in a place. Like when Fox used to have celebrity boxing, like you knew it was a gimmick. Like Jake Paul walking around here acting like he a real fighter and he need to be respected as one. And my brother,
he said Tyson Fury earned the right to fight him, and I couldn't stop laughing. I said, "Boy, he had smoke. Him and Wilder would both smoke you. What are you talking about, white boy?"
They would murder. They would straight Apollo Creed him. It'd be reverse racism if that's what you want to call it. Like, if boxing wants to grow, like it needs to get away from that. Because, like, as a person who doesn't watch boxing or who's a very casual fan, I'm not interested in watching Jake Paul fight anyone. But Fury Wilder, or give me some heavyweights with some personality, hell yeah. Because, I'll pay $50 for a fight if I'm intrigued. But it's just the past couple of years, I was like, there's really nothing been intriguing out of these two guys. Like, you want to watch Conor McGregor fight Floyd again? I watched that fight. That is one I watched, and it was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't. In terms of boxing, it wasn't all that. But in terms of like all the entertainment leading up to it, I was like, this is primetime television. This is I'd pay for this. My opinion is that boxing needs, how do I say this? Boxing needs more Floyd Mayweathers of the world.
Yes.
Not like there will never be another Floyd Mayweather. He's arguably top two or three greatest boxers ever, in my opinion. But you need people who are like him, who just either don't lose, and two, lets the world know that they don't lose.
Yes.
Because let's be real here. When it comes to boxing, we all respect the humble guys who come in there, they handle their business and they brawl and they give you good fights. There's always going to be a place for that with the true boxing purists. I think if you're trying to grow the sport of boxing, you need people that the crowd hates, but they love to hate because they're so good.
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody was buying Floyd's fights to see Floyd lose, and he was still whooping people's asses.
Yep.
That's killing two birds with one stone. That's satisfying the boxing needs for the boxing purists and drawing in for the casual fans to give them something to tune in, a story to tune into, right? I think and I think the UFC has done a really good job at this. They've taken guys like the John Jones, the Daniel Cormier's, the George St. Pierre's, the
Brock Lesnar's, the
what is his name? Is it Irisanta? You know what I'm talking about? He's the middleweight champion right now. Connor, like they're taking all these guys with personalities and they're putting them in the forefront, right? And they're allowing not only their talent but their personality to draw in box office. I think too many times boxing kind of tries to rely a lot more on talent, which will always get your purists. But if you're talking about your casual fans, dog, you need personality, because the casual fan, especially because let me be honest with you, I was watching that Fury Wilder fight. I was watching it with a woman, a beautiful woman, by the way. I was watching it with a woman, and there'd be some times when she'd be watching some of them hits, like you know the hits that hurt when you watching boxing. She was like, and I was like, oh man, she's not used to watching this, because I'm over there like, ooh, tag his ass. You know me, you don't watch a boxing fight before. You be standing there with your arms up. I was like, come on, Wilder, you gotta keep your hands up. Tag his ass. She was like, oh, every time Fury hit him with a good one, she was like, oh, and I was like, yeah, she not used to watching this. So it's boxing is a sport where, like, if you're not used to watching it, boy, some of them shots gonna feel like you taking them, because they hurt. They hurt. Even through the screen, they hurt. So you gotta have some personality. And I do think this is a good example because both of them have good personality. Like they have good personalities. Apparently they don't like each other. Apparently they really don't like each other. That's not for show. Like they really don't like each other. So I think you need more of that, especially in boxing, to get people talking like, yo, I think such and such is gonna whoop his ass. And someone else says, nah, I think such and such is gonna whoop his ass because he's been talking crazy. And it just builds to the story, builds to the narrative. I think that overall is gonna be really good for boxing.
Did you see that video of Tyson Fury quoting Biggie and dropping the N-word?
Excuse me?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, I think he's
singing. Was he singing a song?
Yeah, I think he was singing Juicy. And he dropped the N-word. I'm like, who gonna go tell him? Because we done sent our best fighter, and he done sent him back to us with his ass. Who gonna tell Fury? You can't say that.
We're gonna tell him we didn't send our best fighter. Yo, no. We got to take this time. Black community. I know we are down bad about the loss by Deontay Wilder, but y'all have to realize this is the sports gods taking one back. Essentially, they let Floyd Mayweather whoop all these racist asses for about 20 years. And we was talking heavy. Black community. We gotta take these on the chin because Floyd had 20 years of whooping ass and talking crazy shit. Yo, I remember during the Oscar De La Hoya fight, Floyd bought a chicken out. Floyd brought a chicken out, and I said, yo, this dude is wild. Floyd don't care who he offends.
Oh my God, I forgot all about that.
Floyd was on the boxing 24/7. He was like, I eat McDonald's. I like to hang out with women, and they still can't beat me. And all these other boxers, his opponent, I think it was Canelo. Canelo up at 5 a.m, jogging, training. Floyd in the club with strippers. McDonald's.
What a time to be alive. I forgot he came out with the chicken.
Fam. Black community. We got to look. We got to take this Wilder L like on the chin. Then Black community, if you really watch the 2 fights before, this 3rd fight really didn't surprise you. This outcome didn't surprise you. Fight 1, Fury was giving Wilder business. He just underestimated how hard Wilder hits. Fight 2, he ain't underestimated him. He just whooped his ass. This fight, you're in that 4th round. Wilder caught him twice. Knocked him down twice. And I said, oh, this is going to be a fight. But then the problem with Wilder is he ain't got no stamina, which is wild because you're a boxer.
Well, I mean, when you're a boxer,
you fight heavy, but still you're a boxer.
Hey man, when you used to not fighting, going the distance, like if you used to, like even mentally, no matter how hard you train in your mind, you're probably like, man, this ain't going 6 rounds. This ain't going 7. This ain't going 8. And the next thing you know is round 9 and you huffing and wheezing.
Fam. Them later rounds, like he got knocked out in the 11th round. Round 8, 9, 10, 11. Yo. He was all fumes. He was muscle memory.
Speaking of boxing, did you hear Umar Johnson talking about Mike Tyson?
That's the real box office fight. Give us the real box office fight.
That is murder.
Dr. Umar versus Mike Tyson. Give me the man.
Mike Tyson.
Man, if I was to place a bet right now on Umar versus Mike Tyson, I'd put $50 right now that Umar maybe makes it 2 rounds.
Okay. Well, we're talking about how long he lasts. I'm saying I got Mike Tyson in 1st-degree murder because that's what's gonna happen.
Yo, Dr. Umar said Bernard Hopkins, Floyd Mayweather set it up. And I'm over here like, who does this nigga think he is? Who do you think you are, Umar? Umar, let me tell you something. Umar, I'm here to tell you right now. Hey man, boxing with the homies in the locker room, slap boxing, that's one thing. Boxing out in these streets when you and somebody getting in disagreement, that's one thing. But when you gotta put some gloves on and a killer is on the other side, and he only got one thing in mind, Dr. Umar, I'm here to tell you right now, Prince of Pan-Africanism, he frying and sizzling your ass up in that same pan, and he's sending you right back with a side of jollof rice. I'm trying to tell you, Dr. Umar, stop playing with him. Stop playing with him, Dr. Umar. That is Dr. Umar. There's a whole lot of heavyweights you want to call out. Iron Mike Tyson ain't one of them. Mike Tyson ain't one of them. Fam, Mike Tyson in his heyday, you'd be lucky to make it at the first round.
You'd be lucky to make it to the ring. I could just catch him in the hallway and just punch him in the face and call it a night.
Umar, stop playing with that man. Stop playing with that man, Dr. Umar. Stop playing with that man. Stop playing with that man. All right. Let's get into a few random topics we got here on the list. Starting with this one. Yo, why did nobody want to win the football game in Cincinnati?
I don't know what was happening with y'all. I know. You go ahead. These are your Packers. You go ahead. You get it off your chest.
All right. For 3.5 quarters, the Packers looked like the Packers, and it was just a good football game back and forth. Like, because the pass rush was getting there, the offense was clicking. Like, it was a good football game back and forth. Now, the only thing I had noticed that teams are missing extra points, but we were figuring all that out. We were working through it. After one, maybe even two missed extra points, you're not really concerned about your kicking. It's like, come on, make your fucking extra points, right?
That's what you got to do.
The back half of that fourth quarter, when everybody started missing field goals, that's when I was like, yo, what the fuck is going on here? Like, what the fuck is going on here? Seriously, what the fuck is going on here? Then, like, with double zeros on the clock, Mason Crosby with a chance to win the game. I'm talking like win the game. In regulation, I said, that's Mason Crosby. I watched this dude hit a 56-yarder to beat the Cowboys in a playoff game. Surely he can make one in Cincy. Dude shanks it. So then we go into overtime. As soon as the Bengals get the ball first, I said, Lord have mercy. They're going to go down and score a touchdown. Off rip. No way they're going to put their kicker back out there. But of course, they drive and they put their kicker back out there. He misses the kick. And I said, fam, what? So I'm like, okay, Packers, let's go. Let's go. They drive. Yo, I believe he missed the first field goal in overtime.
Yep.
And I'm sitting here like, fam, what the hell are the football gods doing to us right now? This is nasty. And around this time, I'm already thinking, I'm ready to fight Mason Crosby, but I'm not there yet. Then the Bengals get the ball back. They miss the kick. So I'm like, all right. Fam, like, this is our chance, dog. Finally, he makes the fucking kick. But I will tell you this. On the third down, before that fourth down, I was yelling adamantly, don't you dare put that fucking kicker back on the field. Don't you dare put that you better go for it. Go for touchdowns and touchdowns only. But Matt LaFleur gets paid to coach football, and he had faith. Shut out. And that's all I'm going to say there. We're on to the Bears. But Mason Crosby, you pull this shit in the Windy City next week. I'm on your ass, boy. You my kicker, so I'm going to give you this grace period, but I'm on your ass. Yo, how about them Eagles stealing one in Carolina? You said they're handling business. I watched the game. They damn sure stole that one because they had no business being there.
I watched that game too, and they handled their business, right? They came back down from 15-3. I think this is more Jalen Hurts pulling his team from the jaws of defeat and bringing us to victory. Did you see the go-ahead touchdown? Did you see the 2-point conversion? Bad snap, palms with one hand, evades a free rusher with the other, and finds Devonta Smith in the end zone and throws a rocket. It was beautiful. Why can't they play offense like that all the time? Huh?
Is that your franchise quarterback, you think?
I said last week that I believe in Jalen. Like, Jalen's numbers last week, his first 7 starts compared to Deshaun, Carson, Russell, and everyone he's in trade rumors with are identical. Now, there are some things Jalen needs to work on, like his accuracy, especially in the short term and in the red zone. Absolutely, because Zach Ertz, he should have hit Zach Ertz on a wheel route early in the game, and then he should have hit Zach Ertz last week against the Chiefs in the end zone. The Eagles coaching, I don't have much faith in Nick Sirianni. I swear, if there's another touchdown called back because of a pick play, I'm setting something on fire. The Eagles have had 5 touchdowns wiped off the board this year, and I swear all of them are either from the offensive lineman downfield or pick play. I don't understand.
Because they changed the rule of offensive lineman being downfield, and it's fucking some teams over. It's only
us. Like, I feel like we're the only. Last night during the Ravens game, that screen that went to the Jonathan Taylor before the ball was released, the center of the guard was legitimately 15 yards down the field. Nothing, but it's okay, right? Like, Sirianni is supposed to be a wide receiver coach first, and he can't teach his receivers to set a proper pick to make it look like it was an accident. I don't understand it. But
they like, there's ways to coach that too. Like they coach you on how to make it less obvious. Like the ref,
you're not supposed to make contact with the DB, right? So you'll see a lot of like double slants, or you'll see like a scissors concept or a post in the corner. They meet, but you're not supposed to touch the DB. Like, that's the thing. Don't touch them. Make it look like it's part of the route. And a lot of times the refs let it go. Like, pick plays happen all the time. It's just for some reason Eagles players run up to the receiver on the pick play and like push him.
They're young receivers. Y'all have a lot of young receivers.
Greg Ward was the one at fault this week in Carolina. He'd been in the game for a minute.
That's true. He was a quarterback too.
He was a quarterback. But shout out to Jalen for doing what needed to be done. You're my franchise quarterback.
How about them Cowboys? What's up?
Next topic.
Are you ready? Look, come on now. Are you?
Dog, they smoked the Giants. They were going to smoke the Giants anyway, right? And once Daniel Jones got knocked out, like, who you think Mike Glennon going to beat the Cowboys?
So you're not ready to say they're the best team in y'all's division yet?
They are the best team in our division. I said that last week.
They're likely going to win y'all's division.
They should win our division, but they are the Dallas Cowboys, and it is only October. There's plenty of time for them to do what the Cowboys do. The Cowboys are the Chargers of the NFC. No offense to the Chargers.
Okay. Postseason MLB baseball better than any other pro leagues postseason?
Yep.
You think so?
I wouldn't say that, because football, it's one and done. At least in baseball and basketball, it's a series. But there's definitely something special about postseason baseball, because I don't even like baseball. I don't like regular season baseball, but something about baseball in October, it's electric.
I've been getting really into baseball over these last couple of weeks towards like the end of the regular season, obviously with the postseason. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm really, really liking it. I'm with you. I'm one of those people. 162 games too much for me to keep.
Too much, man.
And like anytime I get into like this postseason, these last 2 years, I really got into like this postseason baseball swing. Like, every game is entertaining. Every game's entertaining. The wild card games, like those one and done games,
yeah.
Oh man, those are incredible baseball games. I've been watching, this divisional series, over the last week, and I'm like, yo, this is really, really good baseball played. And I think one thing I'm learning about baseball is overall as a sport, it's all matchups. Like, it is matchups. It's like playing chess.
Yeah.
It's like playing chess. The way like teams like, hey, they have a right-handed pitcher today. We have X, Y, and Z players that are really, really good against right-handed pitchers. Like, they get all deep into numbers, analytics, which I think is really cool, which I see why people say baseball is a geek sport, like a sports, like a statistical geek sport, because it's fam. Like, how else could you really study it outside of looking at all those numbers? So
yeah,
I'm starting to lean that way. In my opinion, I think right now it probably goes NBA, MLB, NFL, only because the NFL, fam, teams that shouldn't be winning games in the postseason end up winning games, and teams that lose games that you're just like.
But that's the beauty of it, though, right? In the NFL, like, you truly just need a ticket to the dance. Like in basketball, a 7-game series, the best team is going to win. Like, there's a reason an 8 seed has never won an NBA title, or it's only happened once or twice, right? Like, basketball is pretty predictable. But football, man, any given Sunday, a team can get, like the Giants, right? Those two Giants teams, like, that's a cool story. Like, you've been treading water, you peak at the right time, and you beat Tom Brady.
Or the Eagles, 2017.
The Eagles were good all year.
No, okay. Yo, are the Lions the best 0-5 team in NFL history?
I feel so bad for Dan Campbell. That man been a NFL head coach for 5 weeks, and his soul has been broken. He was at the podium weeping on Sunday.
Oh, I couldn't help but feel bad for him. Even me as a Packers. Look, Lions fans, us Packers fans, we ain't really got no beef with y'all. There's no need for us to have beef with y'all because y'all the Lions. There's no need for us to have beef with y'all. It's different from the Vikings and the Bears because fuck them. I just feel like y'all being the Lions, I ain't got no beef. I ain't got no beef with my Detroit homies. Shout out to Detroit. Fam, Dan Campbell has lost some games that like you can't even explain to your team. We could have did X, Y, and Z better. Yo, a kicker breaks the NFL record to beat you. What do you say? You just got to eat
on a kick that should have never happened.
Last week you fight back essentially in like the last 10 minutes of play, only to lose on a field. Fan. They gonna look when they first one though. It might get spooky because they might start rolling. They're not. The thing is, they're like when you, especially when you watch them play, you wouldn't think they're 0-5. You at least think they're like 2-3. They're not terrible. They're not a good team. They're just not a bad team. They've just been very, very unlucky.
Listen, man, as long as Jared Goff is pulling the trigger, Lions fans, go watch something else. Cade Cunningham makes his debut in 2 weeks.
Yeah. Okay. All right. I gotta stop laughing for this next comment. Next topic. Jon Gruden. Yesterday, Jon Gruden was fired after a series of emails.
No, he got the opportunity to walk away. He resigned.
He did. He was able to resign. Jon Gruden resigned yesterday. A series of nasty emails was found. Thoughts. There's thoughts.
I'll say this about Jon Gruden. I think this is a tip that Black people, especially Southern Black people, have picked up on. You know how racist somebody is by their haircut, and Jon Gruden has a real racist haircut.
He went to that barber and asked for the Confederate fade.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm sorry. I ain't trying to make a joke of this. He went to the barber and said, "Hey, fam, let me get that Confederate ball fade. You already know what time it is. That pride, boy. Put that pride on me right here." Hey, Jon Gruden. And this goes out to not only Jon Gruden, but any professional out here. If you're out here working on your work laptop, using your work email during work hours, please keep your racist, nasty, homophobic, sexist thoughts to your personal number or your personal email on your personal devices. Because John and everyone else out here with a job, your job is always watching.
Always.
So Jon Gruden, when they are investigating the Washington football team and their nastiness and inability to run an organization at a high level like the other 30 or 29 other or 30, 29 other teams. There's a couple of teams that aren't really ran very well. And they go through over 250,000 emails, and they're seeing that an employee who was previously fired that they're investigating was emailing with the current head coach of the Las Vegas Raiders. My brother, you think they just gonna take some money to hush that one away? No. Dan Snyder, you own the bitch. You own the team. So they trying to get you up out of here. It's just a little bit harder for them because you own the team. Somebody had to be made of an example out of.
Yo, they sacrificed Jon Gruden. Like, what's that dude from the Clippers who got caught talking greasy about Magic Johnson?
Donald Yo, Donald Sterling thought he was just booed up with some fine tenderloin. Boy, she set his ass up.
Magic has AIDS.
Fam, Jon Gruden, and everybody else out here, I'm telling you, if you are going to be sending nasty, racist, homophobic, sexist comments to your peers, do not do it on your company computer that has your company email, sending it through your company servers. People, they see everything, and they have an IT department that will just bring this shit up. This goes back to my statement from last week. Who are we talking about last week that messed up?
So many people.
It's basically like this. It's like what Charles Barkley said about the Jussie Smollett thing. If you're gonna commit crimes, don't write checks. Don't write checks. If you are gonna be nasty and racist, do it on your phone. I promise you.
Urban Meyer. That's who we're talking about.
Urban Meyer. It's like I told Urban Meyer last week. If you're gonna be out here on these streets, you got to keep it discreet.
God, Jesus.
Jon, I'm not saying you should go out here and be racist, but if you're gonna be racist, don't do it on your work computer. Yo, you ain't got to worry about it now because your ass ain't got a job. So,
what other racist haircuts do you think people get? Like, I kneel for the cross.
Oh man, you got the kneel for the cross. You got the I kneel for the cross furrow. You got the
MAGA buzz cut.
The MAGA buzz cut. Don't forget the why don't they stand during the anthem braids? You got the I mean I can keep going.
You got the slavery was a choice comb over.
You get and don't forget the long and and luscious it's Southern pride flow.
You got the I can't be racist mullet.
No, man, I can't be racist. I got black friends mullet. Yeah, okay. Oh my goodness. All right, last thing. Going back to college football. Spencer Rattler last week in a crazy Red River rivalry game was benched. Caleb Williams came in, outplayed him tremendously. Now we have some quarterback controversy in Norman, Oklahoma. How do you feel about Spencer Rattler's fall from the QB1 graces? Because I don't imagine now, just based off that game, that he's the first quarterback taken in the NFL draft next year.
I don't think he is a quarterback who was taken at any point this year. Spencer Rattler is jumping in the transfer portal, and he will be the starting quarterback at Tulane next year, trying to rebuild his image. Dog, ain't no coming back from this. When's the last time have you seen a Heisman favorite, argument for the number one overall pick? If not that, the first quarterback taken, what is this, week 5 or 6 of the college football season? And now you're going to be the practice squad quarterback for the Minnesota Vikings at best. Like, have you ever seen such a fall? He got benched in the middle of the second quarter. Like, Lincoln Riley was like, dog, I can't do this. I can't even give you to halftime, man.
No, he was like, look, fam, this ain't it.
This ain't. And it's one thing. It's like if they had still lost that game and got smoked, you can say it just wasn't our day. But the fact that he came in and Caleb came in and led them to victory, that is his team now.
Can't wait to see. I think 2 birds are going to be killed next year. 2 birds are going to be killed with 1 stone next year. And follow me here.
Okay.
I'm with you. I think Spencer Rattler's getting ready to transfer because his stocks hurt too much for him to go into the draft this year. That's for one. I think he's going to end up transferring to a place where the head coach has been adamant he doesn't really like transfers. Clemson.
Oh,
They're going to need a quarterback. DJ ain't it. Dabo knows. He knows. Hey man, we might need a transfer. We might need a quarterback for a year to bridge us until we find a solid our next one. He gonna jump to Clemson.
So where does DJ go
next year?
Where does DJ go? I'm with you. Like, I'm following this logic and I'm with it. But where does DJ go?
To the bench or to the portal?
Yeah,
I'm not even trying to be rude when I say it, but we're 6 weeks in and I don't think he's good. I don't think he's the quarterback that Clemson needs to run that system. Because Clemson's quarterbacks, I've noticed they're a little they're dual threat, right? I think that's the beauty of a Clemson quarterback. You always have to account for them being able to run the ball.
Yep.
He's too big. He's not, I don't think he's a runner like that. I think he's a little bit too inaccurate with his throws. And I think Spencer Rattler is going to be someone who wants to prove himself. I think Dabo's going to want to prove himself. All I'm saying is just watch.
DJ, have fun at SMU.
DJ, come be the quarterback of Virginia Tech.
Oh,
come be the quarterback of Virginia Tech. Because you know what? Next year, when we hopefully have a new coach, we're going to need a new quarterback. Justin Fuente.
You guys are firing Fournette this year?
Fam.
You think so?
I want us to fire Justin Fuente so bad. I might pray to my Lord and Savior on it.
Oh, wow.
Fam.
You asking God?
We were up 8 with like less than 9 minutes left to go. And we lost by 3 in regulation. Didn't even go to overtime.
Who you playing?
He played Notre Dame.
Oh, no. No, we can't let Brian Kelly prosper.
Fuente coached to lose the game. He was not aggressive. When they made it an 8-point game, they scored in like a minute and some change. So then when we give them the ball back, which I don't think we should, when we get the ball back and we're driving and there's like 3 minutes left on the clock, no, 3 or 4 minutes left on the clock, and we're on third, it was like third and less than 5. And I'm saying, yo, go for it. Like, do not give them the ball back. They're going to score in seconds again. He goes and kicks it thinking his defense is going to hold. Fam.
It did not hold.
They did not hold. And they won in regulation. We were up 8 with 9 minutes to go and lost in regulation. That's what's pissing me off. We didn't even get a chance to take it into overtime. They won in regulation. I never want to see Justin Fuente coach Virginia Tech football again. Mike Young, I'm excited for your basketball team. I know you're a good coach. I've seen you work with what you need to work with to get them to where they need to be. So I know you legit, Mike Young. Help us get Fuente fired, please.
Hey, UVA's on the 2-game winning streak. Wahoo wah, baby. We living over here.
You know what's gonna make me mad when Fuente beats like the UVAs of the world, because that's all people care about around here. No one, there's a good portion of the Virginia Tech fan base who their biggest thing is they just want to keep keep beating Virginia and be competitive in the Coastal. And then you have the other portion of the fan base who's like, yo, do y'all remember our heyday when we was fuck the ACC? We was nationally good. I'm part of that fan base. I want to get back to some national contention. That 2016 team with Gerard Evans and Isaiah Ford and Bucky Hodges, one of the best teams we've had. That was the same team, the AC championship game, and gave Deshaun Watson and Clemson and them boys a hell of a game. Gave them all they could handle. Yeah, Clemson won, and yeah, they went on to win a national title. But we gave them one hell of a game, and it's just not fair. not fair that I gotta succumb to this bullshit.
Would you prefer to lose to UVA this year if that means Justin got fired?
Yes. Serve that motherfucker up. Wahoo, baby. If it means that motherfucker don't have to coach another damn game.
It's wahoo wah.
No, I don't care about that bullshit.
It's wahoo wah.
Anything to get fucking Justin Fuente fired tomorrow. Yeah, bum. This Memphis Tech ass team he got. And for all you Virginia Tech fans that saying he inherited Beamer's X, Y, and Z, fam. This is year 6. What's your excuse?
Has it been that long?
Yeah, 2016 was his first year.
Wow, I thought this was like year 4. Oh yeah, he got to bounce. Oh yeah,
was his first year. That team I was just talking about, that was his first year. That was the team full of Beamer's recruits.
Oh yeah, I see. I thought he was like year 4. Oh no, he got to go this year.
Yeah, Beamer retired after my freshman year of college.
Okay, yeah, him and Bronco can leave together because I'm not a big Bronco guy.
They good friends, aren't they?
They can go back to BYU and Memphis together.
That's all I got, man. I'm hot.
Ladies and gentlemen, that is episode 34. Speak on it. D, where can the people find you?
Hey, man, you can find the kid at Instagram, at Twitter, at Twitch, or at YouTube, at Los D Mix. Holla at me. You know what I'm saying? We here, we vibing. Y'all see me. I'm looking good. I'm feeling good. Your boy on vacation, so I'm about to be.
All right.
I'm about to be out here a little bit. Y'all, the people who listen, they can't see, but I'm over here feeling good with the shoulders. I'm out here.
Man, that man a Kappa now. He a Kappa.
Nah. I tried. I was blackballed out. I tried though. They blackballed me. I don't want to.
You look like a Kappa.
Nah, I tried. I tried to cross. They blackballed me though.
Dog, I wanted to be a Q, and then I went to the interest meeting and heard that dude speak, and I was like, yeah, I ain't built for this. I left. I was not built to be a Q, dog.
I thought I was on my way to being a Kappa, and then I was blackballed in the pledging process, and then I realized this is all politics. I'm good on this.
I feel you.
When I was cut, I was upset for like a few days. I was upset for like a week. Then I really thought about it, and I was like, this got to be a blessing. This is a blessing.
I went to a Q meeting, and the guy, because we didn't have Qs on our campus, so we had to, I guess, cross at Norfolk State. And there was this older black guy, and he was like, yeah, when I crossed, I went and found, what's the guy who crosses? Like, who's in charge of crossing? Who's the
dean?
Huh?
Is it the dean?
I guess it's the dean. He said, I went, found him after class, kicked his ass, and threw him in some bushes. And I was like, I don't want to be a part of nothing where I want to beat up somebody after I cross. So I left. So I'm good on that.
Man, he whipped their ass and no one came and got him.
He said, I found him after class, punched him in the face, and threw him in some bushes. And I was like, hey, man, if that's what y'all doing, I'll go to church. I'll pledge.
Hey, the church is the church is its own sort of fraternity, sorority.
I would pledge Jesus 5 cross in a heartbeat.
Hey, I'm Alpha Omega, my Lord.
We out. Good night.